Landlord will be in court today. What police say could be the motive.
Also this morning, a man in Uptown fights off two would-be carjackers. Then a third person comes and shoots at that vehicle. We're going to hear from a witness.
And it's a weather whiplash as Tracy tracks cooler conditions and our next chance of rain as we welcome you on this Thursday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Well, happy good morning to you, everybody. I'm Val Warner. And you know what? If you're coming from the TV side to watching us streaming just now, there is the most, and I believe I'm correct still about this, one of Windy City Live's most viewed videos in the history of that show is when we did a story about a woman who wanted to be free at work and she took her bra off. And you know, I decided to join her on the set of Windy City Live on live TV, and I believe it's our most viewed video.
Ooh.
It's out there.
You're
YouTube it.
You're saying that you took your bra off.
YouTube it.
Oh my! I actually remember. I think I saw that video.
Everybody in Chicago did.
And the bra going over the shoulder.
It was something like what you said today. It was National Free Day, or it went over the shoulder. So anyway,
look at Roz. You did see the video, Roz?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Roz.
And I watched it again.
Listen, if you have to wear those things,
I can't imagine. I can't even imagine.
You're so constricting
I know.
and tight. And that woman that day in that story was brave.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be brave like her.
It's actually, they say that the real meaning of the day is not to just take your bra off. It's actually to bring awareness to breast cancer.
I'm doing that too.
There you go. All of it. So actually a good thing behind it. So I can't say take off your bras though.
No, you can't. What you can say is let's send it to Tracy.
Exactly, and talk about the weather. Tracy?
I have to follow this discussion.
You're going to get us out of this discussion.
Right.
You're going to save us right now.
All right, here we go. Oh, wait, that was a little tricksy coming right there. All right, back to Tracy. Right now, skies are clear around Chicago. We're going to see some sun this morning. However, we'll get more clouds this afternoon. 45 out at Midway, 44 Joliet, 42 in Waukegan, and 42 right now in Valparaiso. Let's get over to Roz.
And I have a lot to talk about, so we are not including bras in this conversation. We'll start with the big picture. 45 minutes for the majority of your travel times. We still have delays on 55. A second crash, same location, northbound at Lamont. It's causing another backup. We're still recovering from that overnight road work northbound on the tri-state right around 75th that ran late. The backup starts at 127th, and Chopper 7 is over the Edens. Two crashes either side of Peterson. That one is inbound. It's all off on the shoulder. But then on the northbound or outbound side, we've got another crash, and that one is causing a delay that extends all the way back to the Kennedy Junction. So either way, you're going to be sitting in traffic. Val and Terrell.
Oh boy, Roz, thank you. Now to a breaking news update. The suspect in a gruesome murder on Chicago's far north side will be in court today.
Yeah, Sandra Kalalu is now charged with murder, accused of killing her landlord and then putting her remains in a freezer. It's been tough to talk about this all morning long. Jessica D'Onofrio, I know you're out there live at the victim's home now with an update. Good morning.
Yeah, Val and Terrell, detectives believe the motive in this case may have stemmed from an eviction notice. They believe the horrific crime took place inside this home behind me. Now, this morning, 36-year-old Sandra Kalalu, seen here in a previous booking photo from a prior arrest, is charged with first-degree murder and concealment of a homicide. Police believe she killed her landlord, Francis Walker, earlier this week. Authorities say Kalalu lived in the boarding house on Washtenaw near Peterson on the far north side that Walker owned. It's also where Walker's remains were discovered on Monday inside a freezer after other tenants reported her missing.
Tenants inside the residence, they heard a screaming at about 2:30 in the morning Monday night, and that's when the next day at about, like I said, 6 or 7 p.m. they called to report the victim missing because the other tenants couldn't get a hold of the victim.
Francis Walker rented rooms in her home to women in need of shelter. According to police, Kalalu had a history of issues with her, and Walker had recently served Kalalu an eviction notice. Meanwhile, Walker played the organ at local churches and piano at a ballet studio in Evanston.
Kind and gracious and gentle and, generous. My goodness, just sharing whatever she had with everybody.
Now, Eyewitness News reached out to Walker's husband, who is overseas and trying to get home. He says his wife was the best person he knew. Meanwhile, Chicago police say the suspect is exercising her right to remain silent, and she is due in bond court later today. Val and Terrell, back to you.
All right, Jessica D'Onofrio live. Jessica, thank you. There was a carjacking overnight on Chicago's north side.
A man fights off several would-be carjackers, but not before shots are fired. Mayor Kawash is live in Uptown with the details of this story. Mayor.
Well, the good news is that 35-year-old victim is okay. He was able to walk away uninjured, according to police, but quite a scary situation here. As a neighbor tells us, that man was in the process of moving at the time these attempted carjackers pulled up on him. All of it unfolding just before 11 o'clock last night, when police say that 35-year-old victim was in the process of moving in an alley where he was removing those items from his vehicle. That explains why he was in that alley there, and police say the two offenders approached him, one of them hitting him with a gun while the other hopped into the driver's seat of his car. The victim tried pulling that suspect out of the car while fighting off the other man who had the gun. Police say that's when a third suspect, a woman, arrived on scene and shot at the vehicle. Those suspects were able to run away from the scene, but a neighbor explained just how concerning it was to hear about this happening right here.
Heard a commotion, looked out the window, then started hearing screaming, honking, and then 3 gunshots. Saw a white car fly down Glenwood.
Now, Chicago police recently released carjacking data on October 1st, reporting more than 1,200 of those incidents to that point. According to CPD, there have been at least 211 arrests for carjackings, and 55% of them have been juveniles so far this year. So police telling us no one has been arrested as they continue to search for those 3 suspects. Area 3 detectives are investigating, and again, that 35-year-old victim is okay. He refused medical assistance here on scene. Val, Terrell.
All right, Mayor, thank you. We continue to be on top of breaking news. Connecticut's governor has ordered flags in Connecticut lowered to half staff after 2 police officers have been shot to death in Bristol, Connecticut. A 3rd officer was seriously injured. We're told this happened near the headquarters of ESPN, but no other details are known at this time.
And this morning, we're hearing from the wife of a hit-and-run victim who's still recovering 2 weeks after he was hit on Chicago's northwest side. Happened September 30th in Old Irving Park while Kurt Steiner was taking their rescue dog for a walk. The dog, who was also hit, did not survive. So sad. As they followed the light and crosswalk across North Pulaski and Bertaux, police say someone driving this Mercury Grand Marquis right here ran them down and never stopped.
More than anything in my life, I need to find this person. We need to find them to heal. We need closure. We need justice.
Police are asking anyone with information about the car or driver to please contact the police.
Happening today, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol is preparing for what could be their final public hearing.
Yeah, Jay O'Brien is live in Washington watching this morning. Jay?
Yeah, Val and Terrell, aides to the January 6th committee say that today's hearing will focus on former President Trump's state of mind leading up to and surrounding the January 6th Capitol attack.
The House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th attack on the Capitol, now preparing for what will likely be its final public hearing today. Committee members promising substantial new video and significant witness testimony using evidence gathered over the last few weeks to fill in previously unknown details.
We're interested in telling the big story, which is this was an organized, premeditated, deliberate hit against the vice president and the Congress to overthrow the 2020 presidential election.
No live witnesses are planned, but since the committee's last hearing in July, several members of former President Donald Trump's cabinet have sat for taped interviews, along with Ginny Thomas, the conservative activist and wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. She told the committee she still believes the election was stolen, but said she had nothing to do with the violence on January 6th. In its previous hearings, the committee making the case the Capitol attack was a direct result of Trump's false claims the election was stolen and showing evidence of attempts to overturn the vote count in several states.
He's become detached from reality if he really believes this stuff.
Most recently showing video of Trump the day after the riot, revealing outtakes from a speech he recorded where he resisted saying the election was over.
But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
Trump has called the committee's investigation rigged.
Now, the Department of Justice is conducting its own separate criminal investigation into January 6th. So far, more than 400 people have either been convicted or pled guilty in connection to federal charges from that day. Val and Terrell.
All right, Jay, thank you. Well, a jury has now ruled that conspiracy theorist Alex Jones must pay nearly $1 billion in damages to families of Sandy Hook school shooting victims. The $965 million verdict is part of a defamation suit accusing Jones of promoting false claims about the 2012 killings. Robbie Parker, who lost his 6-year-old daughter to the shooting, says he's proud of everyone who fought for the truth to be heard.
All I can really say is that I'm just proud that what we were able to accomplish was just to simply tell the truth. And it shouldn't be this hard, and it shouldn't be this scary, because that's all we did. Every day in that courtroom, we got up on the stand and we told the truth.
Jones testified he believed at the time the shooting might have been staged, but he says since he now believes it's real. He declined to apologize to the families. Well, take a look at this. It's $7.5 million worth of stolen merchandise. It was recovered in a nationwide investigation that began with retail thefts in Wilmette. Wilmette Police, Chicago Police, and several other suburban departments all took part in the year-long undercover probe. 8 suspects are in custody, 5 of them from the Chicago area.
Tonight, the Bears get a primetime chance for victory at Soldier Field. They'll be looking bright, sporting these orange helmets for the first time ever. I kind of like them.
Yeah.
Chicago was a 1-point favorite against the Washington Commanders. This is game 6 of the NFL season. Tonight's game starts at 7:15.
Well, the Blackhawks opened their season last night in Colorado, and as expected, it looks like it's going to be a long season. The Hawks watched the Avalanche raise the Stanley Cup champion banner. Colorado scored 4 power play goals to beat the Hawks by a final of 5-2. The Hawks take on the Knights tonight in Vegas.
All right, live and local news just getting started. Streaming out loud this morning. Coming up, brides and grooms are scrambling. They say they were left high and dry. No wedding venue, no refund, and little explanation. There's Sam Chapman right there, I-Team consumer reporter. She's on the case.
But we go outside first. The cooler air is here, and Tracy has your AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
Welcome back. Good to have you join us here this morning. Want to point something out to you so you're not surprised this afternoon. If you see any showers off to the north, you can see kind of this bit of a circulation. There is a disturbance off to our north, and that is going to continue to dive southward. As it does, it will bring us a few showers into the afternoon. Currently, we have clear skies. It is 42 right now in Waukegan. Get to Little Village where it's 43 degrees, 44 in Northbrook. Out in Crystal Lake, Algonquin, both at 40 degrees. In Elburn, good morning at 36. West Chicago 39 degrees. Burr Ridge, good morning at 42. Westmont at 40 degrees right now. Frankfort at 39, and over in Gary 41, while it's 42 currently in Valparaiso. The kiddos going off to wait for that school bus this morning. Gonna want a coat and jacket. Yeah, it's kind of chilly out there this morning. Roz?
We're still looking at some pretty high travel times, averaging 45 minutes to an hour. Guess where that hour is? You are correct, inbound Kennedy. And we've got crashes that are still causing delays. This one is causing a delay on I-57. It's pretty new. It's at Wentworth, just before the Dan Ryan. So the Bishop Ford is pretty slow as well. So 6 one, half dozen the other, really. We also have a second crash northbound on I-55 at Lamont Road, and that is continuing to cause delays almost as far back as Weber. We have reports it's on the shoulder, but still very hefty backup. And then delays in both directions on the Edens because we have crashes in both directions either side of Peterson, and it is backing up between 30 and 35 minutes either way. Lake Cook to the junction. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Today, we're going to get an update on record inflation, and the consumer price index will be released. It is expected year-over-year inflation will be about 8.1%. That's a high level, but lower than the 8.3% that we've seen before. Core prices, those are items outside of food and energy, could return to a 40-year high because of an increase to home and car costs.
Brides and grooms in Chicago say they are out thousands of dollars. Their wedding venue closed with little warning.
The couples say they can't reach the owner to get their money back.
So they turn to our consumer investigative reporter Samantha Chapman to get some help.
Planning a wedding was supposed to be a memorable moment for Lauren Baylog. An October Chicago wedding at a new venue called the Stock House in the South Loop. Lauren and her then fiance Daniel say they met with the manager of the Stock House, Joshua Yates, and fell in love with the space. In total, they say they paid more than $9,000 to secure the space. But just weeks before their big day, the couple says they received a disturbing email from their caterer.
That our venue will no longer be in operations. And that's how we originally found out, through our catering company.
They eventually got this email from the Stock House saying in part, quote, "We are writing to inform you we must close down venue operations. We have encountered significant obstacles that prevent us from moving forward. We have done our best to keep the doors open and had every intent to fulfill your contract. However, circumstances beyond our control have led us to close."
Disgusted, just think, oh, that's it. Sorry, times are tough. That's not good enough.
The couple says they have yet to receive a callback or a refund from the Stock House, and they are not alone.
We lost $8,000 and had to spend $10,000 additional to replan the wedding, so about $18,000.
Stephanie and Kevin Knowles say they also booked their wedding at the Stock House, but found out on social media that the wedding venue had closed. Like the Baylogs, they say they haven't been able to reach the manager, Joshua Yates, or the owner to get their money back.
We want to see some type of action. Even if it's not getting our money back, we want to hold these individuals accountable.
The ABC 7i team has heard from other couples from both the Stock House and the Zephyr, another wedding venue in the South Loop. Both businesses operated under the same parent company, Chicago Loft Venues. According to state records, Chicago Loft Venues is owned by Chris Moran. The I-Team has tried calling, texting, and emailing Chris Moran. We even stopped by his home to try to get answers about the couple's refunds.
No answer.
The City of Chicago's Consumer Protection Division, BACP, says it has received multiple complaints about the Stock House and the Zephyr. In addition, the city says it has issued notices of violation, citation, and a cease and desist order to the wedding venues for operating without a business license. The Attorney General's office tells the I-Team it has received 34 complaints regarding the two venues and are working to gather information to assist consumers. These couples tell me they may never see any of their money again, but are coming forward to protect other couples from this financial and emotional pain.
I was raised to let it go, life goes on. But something like this, you just really want Chris Moran to get what's coming to him, and I hope, legally something does.
Samantha Chapman, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Sam is definitely on your side, and if you have a consumer problem you want her to investigate, call the I-Team at the number on your screen. Here it is. It's 312-750-7TIP.
When we come back this morning, protecting younger children from COVID-19 this fall, reformulated boosters get the green light for a new age group.
And still to stream this morning, a Chicago mother shows the world what racist killers did to her son. We're going to preview the new movie Till.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Welcome back. This morning, kids as young as 5 can now get a COVID-19 booster. The Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention director both gave the green light for emergency use authorization on Wednesday. The booster targets the original coronavirus strain and the Omicron BA.4 and 5 subvariants. Important to note, though, Pfizer's booster is authorized for children ages 5 to 11. Moderna's is authorized for those 6 to 17.
All right, good information to know.
Right.
So we're going to link up with everybody right now that's watching Good Morning America.
Tanya Babbage is going to have a news update on TV in just a bit. You'll see it here, too.
And we'll be right back.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Tanya Babbage. A 36-year-old woman is due in bond court today, charged with the grisly murder of her landlord on Chicago's far north side. We have an earlier booking photo of Sandra Kalalu from a previous arrest. She is now charged with first-degree murder and concealment of a homicide. Authorities believe she killed her landlord, Francis Walker, earlier this week. According to police, Kalalu lived in the boarding house that Walker owned. It is the same house where Walker's remains were discovered on Monday in a freezer after other tenants reported her missing. Police believe the motive may have stemmed from an eviction notice. Let's get a check of the ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist Tracy Butler.
Hi there, Tanya. Look what we're seeing out there right now. Beautiful blue sky. We'll hold on to sunshine this morning, but a disturbance off to our north is going to bring us some increasing clouds this afternoon. Currently, we have 39 in DeKalb, 38 in Aurora, 41 right now in Gary, 42 in Waukegan, and 41 now in Kankakee. This afternoon, those highs will top out into the mid-50s. Few rain showers briefly this afternoon, too. We'll take a break, Roz, after this.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back. We are looking at high travel times, peak rush hour, 50 minutes to an hour 5 on most of your inbound trips. Northbound tri-state still really heavy, 95th to LaGrange, recovering from earlier overnight road work that ran a little bit late. We got a lot of crashes out there. We've had a couple of them on the Edens at Peterson. Now we have a third one inbound. It's blocking the center lane. We also have a crash that IDOT has just cleared from the inbound Dan Ryan at 47th. They took it off at 43rd. And we've got this crash. Well, actually, it's not a crash. Sunshine delays in Northwest Indiana. Look at your eastbound trip. Just a lot of sun right there. And Chopper 7 over northbound 55 at Lamont, a crash on the shoulder.
It's a pretty sky right there.
It is.
Yeah, 43 degrees. It's chilly, the air. When you go outside this morning, got to bundle up. And even colder weather on the way. Tracy will lay that out in just a little bit. Don't forget Thursday night football too. Yeah, it's
the Bears
tonight.
are in town.
Yep. Taking on the Commanders. More on that later on. First, still something to dance about. And of course, whether it's a new job, graduation, birthday, vacation, or you just like to dance.
Yeah, and this morning we're featuring one of your dancing videos.
Let's check out Isabella, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's her song right there.
Right, that's her jam. You can
Yep.
tell.
Oh, absolutely. She knows the words and wait for it. Ow! Ooh. Look, let me tell you something. If I ever do a split like that, just call 911.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, I'm not coming back up.
You might break something, tear something.
You go, girl. Isabella's mom says that she's been dancing since she's 2 years old. And she's dancing to Walker Hayes' Y'all Like.
That one, that's my favorite move of hers.
Is that right there?
Yeah, the one where she's come to the side, just a little bit of, right there.
Yeah, there it is. See if she hits that split one more time for us. Is it coming up?
I think it's good.
Ow!
She's in gymnastics too, I bet.
Yeah, she has to be.
Yeah.
Go, girl.
Right.
All right, we want to see more of your dance videos. Grab your phone, scan that QR code you're about to see on the screen right there. Then upload your video. Make sure the music's playing in the background. Everything else you need to know is right there when you do that. And if your video's chosen, you can see yourself right here dancing on the morning show.
And we're going to talk about it.
We
All
sure
right,
are.
coming up this morning, do you have the need for speed? How one government agency wants car companies to put the brakes on vehicles so they can't speed.
Plus, later on this hour, it's the 50s. A Chicago boy visits the Deep South and is murdered in a horrific act of racial hatred. Talk to the star and director of the new movie Till coming up.
You know all of someone.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Quick look at some of the top stories that we're watching for you this morning. Bottom of the hour, a Chicago woman will face a judge today for the murder of her landlord on the far north side. 36-year-old Sandra Kalalu, seen here right here. This is a booking photo from a prior arrest, is charged with first-degree murder and concealment of a homicide. Police believe she killed her landlord, Francis Walker, earlier this week. Authorities say Kalalu lived in the boarding house that Walker owned. It's also where Walker's remains were found on Monday inside a freezer. Other tenants had reported her missing.
A landmarking presentation to pay homage to the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. The Chicago History Museum will honor the Illinois chapter, which is considered by many to be the strongest Black Panther chapter. This all starts at 7 tonight.
And the kickoff to the 33rd symphonic season of the Chicago Philharmonic is tonight. The concert will feature works influenced by folk music. Highlights include music by Chicago's own Florence Prince and Arturo Marquez. The concert begins at 7:30 at the Harris Theater. All right.
Lots to do.
Right? Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bottom of the hour on the couch. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner. Good to be with you here on the couch. And let's take a look outside. T and I were just commenting about how beautiful that looks. A little chilly, though. So let's check in with Tracy right now to see what you're in store for today.
Yeah, look at the reflection of the sun coming up this morning. Blue sky over Chicago right now. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay all blue through the day. And in fact, there's a disturbance off to our north that's going to kind of seep into the area here this afternoon, bringing us some clouds and even a few rain showers possible. 40 right now, that temperature in Morris, 42 in Pontiac, 42 in Waukegan. We get to Valparaiso, it's 42 degrees there. So do count on more clouds here this afternoon. Temperatures this afternoon topping out in the mid-50s. Going to be a rather breezy day around the area as well. And as I mentioned, a few showers. It will dry out for the Bears game, though. It's going to be a very chilly night at Soldier Field. It's been a very busy morning for Roz.
And it still is. We've got a new suburban crash. This one's in Grays Lake at Route 60 and Wilson. Big picture, we're looking at travel times continuing to rise. 50 minutes to an hour 15 is the range between the tri-state and downtown. We've had several crashes on the Edens in both directions at Peterson, and we still have one inbound that's causing delays. Hits the brakes at about Oakton, and it's 35 minutes plus Lake Cook to the junction. I want to go up in the air with Chopper 7 because they are over this crash northbound on I-55 near Lamont. So yes, we've got a pace bus involved, but no reports of any injuries, everything on the left shoulder, but those delays go all the way back to Weber Road. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, come on over here so we can get the talking. What everybody else is talking about today. And this is interesting. Cars that apparently cannot speed. National Transportation Safety Board has a new vehicle system that could stop you from actually speeding, going over the speed limit. So they're trying to get manufacturers to add a feature to your vehicle that would prevent people from breaking the speed limit. Cars will have governors for a really long period of time. That's where you can't go over a specific top speed, but it's usually way high, like 155 miles an hour on normal cars. Now this new feature that they're talking about uses GPS to pinpoint where you are. Based on where you are, exactly, there it is, checks the speed limit. After it checks the speed limit, there's a governor that's set that stops you from going over it. New York City is testing it out right now with 50 government vehicles. Now if you hit the speed limit, an alarm will go off, or the accelerator just cuts out and then your car slows down. The NTSB isn't trying to force car companies to do it right now, but they want the government to start incentivizing them with things like tax breaks. So it's probably on the way. That's what they've done with electric cars, and that's why we are where we are right now. I'll let you go first. No, I'll let Roz go first.
Yeah, okay. I will go first.
Yeah.
Because I have two trains of thought on this, okay? First off, I think it's a good idea if everybody does it.
Okay.
Everybody would have to do it because the speed limit is there for a reason. It's not a suggestion, it's a law. And you know, maybe they might be able to raise the speed limits a little bit if everybody had to be consistent. But the problem is right now, and I know you guys will agree with me, when you're out there driving on, say, one of the tollways, because I see it there more than on the expressways, people are doing 90.
Easily.
What is that?
Yeah.
Easily.
And there's no way to slow them down. If you're not doing 70 or 80, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's very, very challenging. And people complain about this to me all the time. So if everybody is actually doing the same speed, you know, it would be an adjustment because we'd have to give ourselves a little more time because I think everybody, you know, kind of takes.
Or you just brought up a good point. Do you think the speed limits are too low in some areas, in some expressways?
I hesitate to say yes because I think one of the things they do when they set these speed limits, they realize people are going to go a little bit faster, so they set them a little bit lower.
Okay, got it.
And
That makes sense.
I'm speculating on this. I don't know this for a fact. Right. So, but it's a very touchy subject.
It is.
But if everybody had to do the same speed and it was regulated, we would all be able to adjust, I think.
Yeah, but that's a big old if.
That's a big
That's
if.
a big
and,
if.
and that's
Big
the
if.
same thing with making self-driving cars work, right? Like I can't have a car that I'm driving and then I have the person beside me in a self-driving car and then we coexist on the road. Somehow everybody's got to get into.
We got to get on board.
Yeah, exactly. In order
Right.
for these, autonomous vehicles to work, which it's a whole different topic. I'll just say I'm not crazy about it. And there's something about that control factor.
Right.
So knowing where I am, and then you can regulate my speed based on where I am, and there are all kinds of issues that you could potentially run into there. And say for instance, I'm getting on the expressway, and I need to really pick up speed just to get into the flow of traffic.
Right.
But my speed is governed and controlled. I can't go any faster. Then what do I do? It's little things like that.
Right.
But the big thing for me is, I paid for that damn car. That car better do what I want to do when I want it to do. There's no control. It's my car.
It's the tracking.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the tracking.
Yeah.
It's the idea of the government now having that kind of control and knowing everything about your whereabouts, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't they already?
They do. They do. Yeah, that's true. That you make a good point. But this is just, so
it just takes it another step further.
It's a slippery slope. All right, so then we're going to get to the point where you don't pay your car payment, your car doesn't start. You know what I mean? Like, what's stopping it from getting
That's the
there?
thinker in him. I hadn't even thought that far.
You know what I mean? Like, it just...
Like, where does it stop?
Where does it stop if we let it get there?
Right, because then the car manufacturers are like, oh, yeah, such and such is behind. Up, you're going too fast.
Right.
You're going too slow on that payment, so you won't go too fast.
You ain't going nowhere.
I had not even thought about that or considered something like that.
But I also get what you're saying, Roz, and I also get, we have a lot of auto accidents on our expressways and tollways. I mean, people are dying on these roadways.
Because people are flying.
They're going too fast. So,
and to me, I don't know, Raj, tell me what you think about this. I feel like the Dan Ryan Expressway is so horrible.
They're all horrible.
But are some particularly worse than others? In terms of, when I'm going down there, people are flying by me. Flying by. I'm like, there's no way that they're not doing. This is like a heavily traveled expressway. I feel like the tollways are not as populated.
Well, probably not.
Yeah.
I think that Dan Ryan is one of the most traveled expressways, if memory serves. I'm not sure if that one has the most crashes.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, and 55 and 290.
Right.
I mean, honestly, Val, post-COVID, people drive like there's no rules.
It's true. Yeah.
They forgot in the 2 years that they were home.
Used to having, the freedom of having no traffic delays. And now all of a sudden there's volume back and there's delays.
There's an
and they're
adjustment.
driving like they're out of their minds.
Yeah.
It's like, get out of my way.
Well, I mean, and speaking of that and different traffic patterns, when we come into work in the morning, there's nobody on the road. And so, Tracy, I won't put you on the spot, but if you're on an expressway, there's nobody out there and the speed limit's 50 and you can easily do, 60, 65 on the Ike coming in. I mean, do you, or do you, stick to the 50 or 55 like the speed limit says?
Well, sometimes I'm trying to make my makeup time on time.
Yes, very diplomatic answer.
You know what I would say? My opinion on this, and I agree with all of you, and the tracking thing is what bothers me more than anything.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way we could put a governor on it just for teen driving.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And as a mom of a teen, I'm
That's a good
thinking
point.
about that, and I'm constantly tracking her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that that's not possible for everyone, and I wish there was something where, under 18, you could have something like that.
Yeah, that would be
Now
so beneficial.
you're talking.
I agree with that.
I'm
100%.
absolutely in agreement with that. You should run for office on that platform.
That's what I'm going to do.
How many mamas would be right behind you because we worry? We were when Zoe first started driving. Anytime the phone rang, it would be nothing, but I would just be like, "Is she okay?
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm a year away from that happening all over again.
Lord.
Right. And
Buckle up.
beware for all of y'all.
Hey, before we go, I want to show you a picture from Chopper. If we can get it up, and I'm not even going to say what it is, I'm just going to let you see it.
Well, let me see.
Yeah, it's on the way. There it is. And look at those beautiful fall colors right there.
That's something.
Fall foliage. Fall foliage, Tracy? Foliage. Foliage. It's one of those words.
I say foliage.
Looks like broccoli.
It does, doesn't it? But it's crazy to see the process of these, and it seems like it's happening by the day.
It is.
Where these trees are changing colors and the leaves are falling.
It's fast.
Yeah. Quick break here. We're gonna come right back in 90 seconds. Hang tight.
Good Thursday morning to you. We are starting off this day with some sunshine. 41 right now in Naperville. Orland Park, hello, 42. 39 right now in Frankfort. Gurnee at 40 degrees. It is 41 in Coal City. And right now, West Lawn at 43. Over in Crown Point, you're at 42 along with Roselawn there, 41 in Couts, and 41 degrees right now in Munster, Indiana. This morning, yeah, it looks like a very nice morning. You look out the window, you see that sun. This afternoon, you'll notice some clouds, and some of those clouds may come bearing a few brief rain showers. Also, it is going to get back to being kind of windy again around the area. Now, this evening, if you're going to that Bears game, plan accordingly. It is going to be chilly. It's going to be breezy. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s during the game, but wind chills are going to be in the 30s. So a brisk night ahead. Roz?
We have suburban police heading to a 3-car crash in New Lenox at the intersection of US 6 and Parker. So traffic starting to bottleneck at that intersection. As we look at the expressways, well, all of the crashes right around Peterson on the Edens, when we had several, a couple inbound, one outbound, they've finally all been cleared, but we're still looking at delays in both directions. And the travel times on all of the expressways are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour 20. And that hour 20, of course, is on the Kennedy, which is our slowest expressway right now. You can see it on the camera here. It is crawling in both directions, inbound and outbound, barely moving. I think the wind's blowing the camera, bouncing that around. There's more movement there than with the cars. But truly, it's a very slow morning out there, and we'll be monitoring things and check traffic again for you in about 10-15 minutes. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Till is a movie that tells the true story of a Chicago mother whose son Emmett was killed in a savage act of racial hatred.
Yeah, the star and director were just in town to present the film and told Jose Sanders how the tragedy that happened in the 50s is still teaching us.
We have a really good life in Chicago, but they have a different set of rules down in Mississippi. You have to be extra careful. I know.
Emmett Till was just 14, visiting family in the Deep South. He was accused of being offensive to a white woman, then brutally tortured and lynched. Mamie Till Mobley insisted on an open casket at the funeral so the world would know what happened to her son. A lot of this story actually takes place here in Chicago. So how important is it for you to present it here in this city?
It's an honor. It's just really special, and for us to be able to do this and bring it back to the Chicago community, it means a lot.
I don't want him seeing himself the way those people are seen down there.
I would imagine this film is really especially important given our present climate.
She did a certain thing. She shared the ramifications of violence, of white violence on her son's beautiful black body, but she did it with a specific kind of care. Mm-hmm. We see things that are happening to black bodies today, and the care is not there.
That smell is my son's body, reeking of racial hatred. Now I want America to bear witness.
You have to walk a fine line between portraying the gruesomeness of that body scene and then being too graphic, if you will, but you wanted to tell the story just like Mamie wanted to tell the story.
When we begin the scene, when Mamie is looking at Emmett's body, we don't see his body, it's obstructed, and it respects the privacy of that moment. And then when we do start to see parts of his body, it's as Mamie is seeing his body. And so the focus is on her connection, her loving connection with her son.
Those pictures of your son change people's lives.
What's your hope for the film?
There might be an ordinary quality to our humanity, but there is an extraordinary quality to what we can achieve. Oh, wow. And she's done that. Yeah. You know, 67 years it took to get to this film. She's not here to see it, but she sees it. You know what I mean?
I do indeed.
The lynching of my son has shown me that what happens to any of us, anywhere in the world, had better be the business of us all.
Jose Sanders, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Cannot wait to see it. It
Yeah,
looks so powerful,
does.
and it's so important for everyone to see it. This isn't one of those places where black folks need to see Till. Everybody should see this.
Yeah. It tells a story that we know so well, but it's a good reminder of what happened and where we are today, and in some cases the work that still needs to be done. So,
And the parallels.
all right, we'll see it. Till starts showings this afternoon. Quick break. We're back with more right after this.
Well, let's talk about some candy. Several groups are releasing lists of the favorite candies in each state.
Yeah, so for Illinois, it depends on which list you look at. So candystore.com uses sales data and says that the top candy in Illinois is Sour Patch Kids.
Huh.
Then it's a chocolate treat, the Kit Kat.
Okay.
But people in Illinois also say or buy apparently a lot of Starbursts.
I can see that.
Yeah, buy.com uses search data and claims that the Tootsie Roll is the most popular here.
My sister loves Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, they are good.
Tootsie Rolls, ugh. Now this one I really don't. Now when it comes to candy corn, Byte.com says Illinois is not a fan. Go figure, Chicago is even listed in the top 5 candy corn hating sites. Apparently Vegas is the most candy corn obsessed.
I don't know anybody who does like candy corn.
I don't either.
Do you, Rosa, who's on the floor with us, you like candy corn? You don't like it?
No,
I don't think Tracy likes it. Oh, Davis. Okay, got it. Must be a
Davis
Southern
likes-
thing, Alabama. That's what it is.
I remember when we used to have an audience here, and when Halloween time, we would always ask them, and the majority of the people would not like
it.
corn.
Yeah, Peeps are another one that I can't stand.
Yeah, they're kind of a waste.
Ugh, yeah.
You just decorate with them, don't you?
Exactly.
Decorate with them. All right, we're going to have more when we come back in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Well, get ready for a new take on A Christmas Carol.
Yep. So Spirited stars Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and the trailer just came out.
What is all of this? I am your ghost of Christmas present. Like a Christmas Carol?
So Ferrell plays the ghost of Christmas present, and Reynolds plays Clint Briggs. He's like Scrooge. But apparently in this version, the tables get turned, and the ghost ends up examining his own past, present, and future.
Oh.
Yeah. Spirited debuts in theaters November 11th and hits Apple TV Plus a week later.
Okay.
Yeah. What's an interesting take on it?
Right. We'll try it.
There it is.
Why
Tis
not?
the season, right?
Tis the season. The music will be here before. The tree's already wrapped outside on State Street.
Oh, I saw that.
Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, soon you're going to see the trees going up.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of the holiday season, have you ever thought about pairing, Val, waffles and eggnog?
No, because that's just too sweet.
Is it?
That's just too sweet.
Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Well, apparently somebody did. Kellogg's just announced a new product for the holidays called Egg-O-Nog. Yes, Eggo waffle flavored eggnog. It's 40 proof, so 20% alcohol. The full name is Eggo-Nog Appalachian Sippin' Cream.
That's a big name.
Yeah. Kellogg reps partnered with a distillery in Tennessee for it.
Oh.
It's not out yet, but should be soon. We are told the holiday flavored drink will be available nationwide at select stores throughout the holidays. And the people with Kellogg claim they came up with it after they found out a lot of parents eat Eggo waffles at night after their kids are asleep.
Ooh, it's a good little snack. Top it off, right?
Oh, no, that's
You don't
too
think so?
sweet.
Ah,
Now, I love eggnog.
That's
just
my
on
thing.
its own.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. So we're on the same page.
Yeah,
You like
we
eggnog,
we
right?
don't need the waffle
to go
component.
with it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. But I think I would drink eggnog and eat a waffle.
waffle.
Yeah, I might do have eggnog for breakfast. I could do the same thing with French toast, pancakes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
What is the alcohol that goes in eggnog? Is it
Is it
brandy?
Bailey's?
No, not Bailey's. Is it brandy or is it
Is it some kind of
rum? What is it?
What does go in eggnog?
It's something that you put in there that kind of takes it to the next level.
Yeah,
I can never
actually should know
remember
this.
Yeah,
I always get it. It's already spiked.
Somebody
I just-
texted me to tell me? No. Well, we'll figure it out because we have time. The holidays are still coming. And thank you so much for watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m.
Tanya's going to have a news update. Tracy and Roz are watching weather and traffic during GMA. We'll hear from them in just a minute. From everyone here at ABC 7, have a great day, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been Eyewitness News streaming at 7. Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It's 7:56. I'm Tanya Babich. Chicago police are investigating an early morning shooting that killed a 22-year-old man. Police say this happened around 2 a.m. in the 2000 block of East 72nd Place in South Shore. Witnesses say the victim was in an apartment when an unidentified male offender entered through a rear door and an argument ensued. That's when the offender allegedly fired multiple shots, hitting the victim, who died at the scene. So far, nobody is in custody. Stay with us. We have a check of weather and traffic up next.
Good morning. Goodness, it's so wonderful to see that blue sky out there this morning, but it's going to kind of fade away. We have a disturbance off to our north. It's going to fill in some clouds over us and possibly even bring us a few rain showers this afternoon. Right now, upper 30s and low to mid 40s will do it for temperatures around the area right now. We will top out in the mid 50s here this afternoon. Have some football this evening. It's going to be chilly. Temperatures in the 40s, wind chills in the 30s. Roz?
Got a new crash in the suburbs. This one is in Itasca. It's at Medina near Route 390. Big picture, travel times averaging anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. So we've got some really slow moving traffic this morning, and we've had a lot of crashes too. This one is on the inbound Kennedy, Hubbard's Cave, the right lane. IDOT's with it. Hopefully they'll have it out of there by the time you get there, but that is our highest travel time regardless. And westbound I-80 at LaGrange, we've got a stalled semi with delays. Speaking of LaGrange, here's the Tri-State Tollway at LaGrange, delays in both directions.